Good evening, guys, and happy Saturday to all of your sunshiny faces. So guys, I'm going to actually just real quick, I finished my dual list yesterday, but I have to actually like type it out. And so yeah, I'm going to do that real quick before I take a shower and go to bed. It's still kind of early, but I am super tired because I went to bed. I fell asleep kind of late last night. I don't really know why, but then it got up early because we were going to paint and prime upstairs, but my dad and Jack actually ran out of like the primer, and so they weren't able to finish. And so I think they finished though. My dad had to go out to Menards anyway, and then it just turned into kind of like a whole thing where I didn't end up actually really helping out too, because I also got up a little bit later. Like Jack was up earlier than I was, and then I woke up a little bit later than that, and then by the time I was kind of like up, they ran out of primer. So and then like I said, at some point after that, my dad ended up actually going and picking it up. However, kind of the big highlight, I guess, sort of that I was telling you guys about sort of yesterday was that or maybe it was the other day, I don't remember, but we ended up going to, it was kind of like a family reunion. It was like technically my grandpa's birthday was actually yesterday, so it was almost like we were getting together for it, but he was like the one like hosting the party, and we ended up going out to like the steakhouse place, but they had a really nice salad bar and like potato bar kind of thing, so I ended up actually having that, which was really good. And then we ended up, like, you know, again, we got together with family, and so again we ended up getting together with family, and it was just really fun because it was a lot of family, like even to like some family that lives out of state ended up coming as well. Like one of my aunts lives in Texas. Well, one of my aunts and one of my uncles live in Texas, and my aunt was able to come, but like my uncle and his family weren't. And then my other uncle, like, and his family, they're actually from like probably live within like 30 minutes of the steakhouse, but they're actually on vacation in Florida, so they didn't end up actually going there. But again, had they not been, they probably would have been there, but they were on vacation. But then it was funny too, because I have another aunt and her family, I want to say they're in Florida. They ended up actually coming for the kind of family reunion. And then also to, like, again, we're probably the next furthest away, or we're 2 hours away from there, with the exception of my grandpa's sister, so my aunt, and her husband live out like near us. They actually, I think maybe I want to say, live a little closer to the city than us. And like I said, I don't know like the distance though of how much like closer or further their drive is, but they're probably about the same drive as us. It's funny because my uncle used to actually, he drove one of the school buses for one of the schools that we play football against in our conference. So they're, like I said, like, you know, kind of closer. Actually though, that football team that we ended up playing this year, they're redoing their football field, and it was one of the schools that we ended up driving. They were about an hour away from us, because with traffic, in reality it's not that far, but traffic wise, because we had to drive into the city, especially during rush hour, it took us like over an hour, or I think close to at least an hour to get there that day that we ended up going to the that football game. And again, that's not their home stadium, but it was one of the stadiums that they were playing at, because it was a college that they were playing at because of them not, you know, under construction. But their school is not too far away from that either. It wasn't like they were like an hour away and then they went to this college that was like an hour away from them. They were still like somewhat closer, but it, you know, again, they're still, again, I think closer into the city than we are. And one of the main reasons why I know that and or can tell is because the football games, it's like the direct, like the airports, it's like the planes go like literally right overhead kind of thing, and like when you're out in the football field, like you'll just see there's like planes, and they're so loud too. They're just going like right over your head because of how close it is to the airport. So they're very close to, like I said, the airport, the city, that kind of stuff. And the same thing too with one of the other schools that we used to play, or not schools, but when Matthew was in youth football, they played them, and it was the same thing too. Like this park, it was like directly in the line of like the airport, and all the planes would just go overhead all the time. It was always really loud there too, from like all the the plane like noise and traffic and stuff like that. So like I said, they're probably like the next furthest. And I was trying to think, like, I think everybody else for the most part is kind of around there, but like my cousin was saying, I think that we had at least like 25 or close to it people that ended up going, and there were a handful of people that were missing. Like, again, to my aunt's, who's from Texas, like one of my other cousins didn't end up coming. And again, too, I know like certain, like I know one of my aunt's husband wasn't there, and a handful of people too didn't come or weren't able to make it, but it was like kind of, for the most part, a lot of the family members were there, which was all really, really cool, because we haven't seen, well, there was something we got together for somewhat recently, but then I think the last time that most of us were all together was actually my cousin's funeral, who, and I want to say that was like the beginning of this year. I think that was the last time that we got all together, and that was when my grandpa like kind of said that. It was like, it's just like, and the prior time before that we got together, I think it was for my cousin's wedding, and like my grandpa was like, we just need to get together, where it's just kind of more of a family gathering, family reunion kind of thing, you know, that we're able to get together for. So again, it was really cool. It was really fun to get to see everybody, and it's kind of like with that side of the family, like, because we don't see them like all that often though, but it's just like you pick up like the conversations and stuff like that just so naturally that it's like you feel like you were just never away, like, you know, even though it's like I haven't seen you in like, again, a couple of years, or you know, something like that, or again too in a more like casual setting kind of thing, like we haven't seen some of them again too in a while or whatever, you know, it's just like, but we just kind of pick up the conversations, are able to just kind of like, you know, talk, like, you know, it was just, we just saw each other like last week. So again, it's really fun. It's really nice to kind of, again, see family, be able to be around family and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, so, and then too, because again, there were actually a couple of November birthdays too, like my because also my grandma's like her brothers were also there. That's actually my step grandma's like brothers, and so the last time I think I saw them though was actually at maybe, but like I want to say it was probably my cousin's wedding that was like in 2019, I think. So like that was the last time that I even saw some of them even too, you know, so like I haven't seen like a lot of extended family either. And so it was just, again, really nice to kind of catch up with everybody and see everybody. But my grandma ended up actually making cake, and she brought it in. Oh my goodness, guys, the kind I tried was like she had 3 different varieties, and I'm like 99% sure that she was the one that ended up making them all, because like she had them in like cake, you know, like carrying case kind of things for like cakes and stuff. But the one I had was so good. It was actually like a chocolate mocha kind of cake. Oh my goodness, it kind of tasted like coffee, a little bit like mocha-y kind of like flavor a little bit, but it wasn't like super, I don't know, it was just so good. It was so moist. Like my grandma's such a good baker. It was absolutely delicious, like, you know. So anyways though, I'm going to take a shower and get to bed after I finish up this list real quick before that. But I will see you guys in tomorrow's vlog. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give a big old thumbs up. If you guys are new, we'd love it if you'd subscribe, and I'll see all of your sunshiny faces tomorrow. So bye guys.